Hi, I'm Yanglyn. I'm the design and product manager here at Explore Digital, and we're here to demystify digital marketing.
Lead rates and conversion rates.
Yes.
Whenever we say rate, it's basically how many times a goal is achieved per users that you get. One lead out of 10 visitors is a 10% lead rate.
Yes.
So the rate that, we get conversions or leads totally dramatically varies depending on the business, depending on the industry. Yeah. It also depends on the quality of leads we're capturing, yes. or the quality of qualifying those leads.
Yeah. People are going to come to the website, but they're not going to convert immediately a lot of times. Like
almost never.
Like with
everyone is skeptical.
Yeah. With e-commerce, the first benchmark conversion rate is 1%. So we're hoping to get 1% of users to actually convert. That's like the baseline benchmark. Yeah. With lead generation, it's about...
Yeah, it depends on the action you're judging. But for a final purchase of 1%. A typical e-commerce price that people are thinking of, yeah.
And we've got it up, very, very much higher, but that's the benchmark goal.
And then that's what you see in the world.
Yes, exactly. And then with lead generation, I believe it's 3 to 5% is, again, the benchmark starting point. And then you can expand from there. So a lot of times we'll use benchmarks to actually tell us hey, this is proving concept. This is not proving concept, those kinds of things.
And for the sake of caveat too, I will throw out that obviously those rates of engagements and lead rates and things like that definitely go up as the quality of the leads go down. There will be people who
that's a good one.
might see this video and dispute the rates that you just quoted.
Okay.
And I would argue that it's probably lower quality leads that are coming in at those rates. You know, it's so often that we'll get clients that are much, much happier at a 5% lead rate than a 13% lead rate, because the leads at the 5% lead rate are that low because of how well we're qualifying the leads.
Yeah.
And they're not sifting through 13% lead rate where it's basically empty leads, potentially even bots a lot of the time, and the leads end up going nowhere. So cheap, quick results don't always end up in bottom line revenue growth for the business. There's sort of a middle ground with capturing leads that you want to find, where if you just sort of put out an ad that's like, hey, anyone who might vaguely want a quick lead, and there's all kinds of options for one-click submissions now online where you can sign up to things you didn't even know you signed up for. Those can be very high lead rates.
Yes.
They also typically don't result in any business growth. So, when we have service type clients that want, leads that are interested in potentially booking a service in the future, we'll actually intentionally add small barriers to entry to kind of trim the fat of the people who don't really know what they're signing up for. And we'll put in a qualifier that says, hey, you're signing up, but also you need to manually specify your desired appointment date, for example.
Yes.
And then the leads that do come in, it might be a lower lead rate on average, but 100% of those people do want to come in for the service.
Yes.
Versus when you remove those qualifying features from capturing leads or capturing engagement, you oftentimes get users that weren't even aware really that they got entered into your lead flow.
Oh.
And it becomes very problematic, and you're spending money on traffic that's not even aware that they're engaging with you, and it does nobody any good.
To that point, we've worked with a franchise now for a few years. She said, hey, Darci, I think I want to change agencies. I'm hearing about amazing results over at this new agency. And I was like, tell me about it. What's going on? And she said, well, this other franchisee that went with this other agency, they got 15 leads in 3 days. Honestly, I think it was 50 leads in 3 days. Yeah. And I said to her, okay, that's awesome. I'm glad that, you're getting lots of contact information and whatnot. Have any of those leads actually booked a service? Have they yielded any clients? And she ended up saying, oh, these are great questions. Let me go ask and find out. Lo and behold, she did not leave us. And she found out that none of those leads were actually quality leads. And it was because they were saying sign up for a free thing. Mm-hmm. And so they had all these people just opt into this free service, but they weren't actually qualified leads that could spend that money. So that, to your point, that's the lead rate. So that agency looked great for about 5 minutes. And then you start looking under the hood and you're like, okay, well, is it actually yielding any money?
Any actual results? Yeah.
And she's still with us to this day. It's been 4 years.
It's crazy how often I'll interact with a client who is significantly happier at lower advertising
Yes.
rates
Yes.
because they're actual customers.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely. They're actual customers. They're not vanity metrics.
Yes.
I'm not some
Yeah.
agency saying, we got you 200 leads and, one of them is going to convert.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Like, what is it? It's just not the right audience. With digital marketing, I think in terms of our goal of demystifying it a little bit more, we ultimately want to share. It's not always quantity. It's also that quality
Yeah.
with the audience. We need to be we need to be with the right audience. We need to be putting out the right messaging
Yep.
and the right offer. I mean, it's a lot of planning, but when it all really does come together, it ends up being a money machine for sure. That's
Yeah.
our goal, essentially, is to help businesses grow and understand what it is that we do.
Yeah.
And that concludes today's show. We look forward to tuning in next week, where we'll go over some other demystification of digital marketing.